The limits of language. People write endlessly on social media, seeking money, recognition, and above all, proof of existence. They long to be seen, to be heard, and to feel alive. Human civilization itself is built upon language, which enables connection, memory, cooperation, and culture. Yet language, despite its power, remains profoundly limited. It cannot fully contain the reality it tries to describe. No word can ever hold the fullness of what it names. The word tree cannot preserve the texture of bark, the trembling of leaves, or the silent labor of roots hidden in darkness. Likewise, no name can truly contain a human being. It reveals only fragments, while concealing infinite depth. Meaning always escapes complete capture. Unlike nature, humans disguise themselves through performance and pretense. They deceive others, and often deceive themselves. Language thus becomes a mask rather than a mirror. Yet without language, civilization collapses. We are therefore compelled not to abandon language, but to transcend its limits. Philosophy has long recognized this paradox. Laozi taught that the Tao which can be spoken is not the eternal Tao. Zen pursued enlightenment beyond words, while Western mystics approached God through silence. Across cultures, the same insight emerges. What is most real cannot be spoken, only experienced. Modern science now confirms this ancient intuition. Relativity dissolves absolute time and space, while quantum entanglement shatters classical causality. Observation itself alters reality. The universe reveals dimensions far beyond what language and logic can frame. Even mathematics may fail beyond certain thresholds. Language draws maps, but reality is never the map. By trusting language too deeply, we built entire civilizations upon fragile structures. Misunderstanding multiplied, conflict intensified, and relationships grew increasingly fragile. Words began to wound, sentences to divide, interpretations to fracture meaning. Our world now trembles like a vast city erected upon linguistic sand. In this fragile landscape, silence restores balance. Darkness makes light meaningful, stillness allows music to exist, and emptiness gives form its breath. Without silence, sound collapses into noise. Without darkness, stars vanish from significance. Silence is the hidden foundation of perception. The universe itself emerges not from speech, but from silence. Within silence, the self loosens and boundaries dissolve. Presence deepens, and awareness becomes luminous. Prayer, meditation, and contemplation become acts of listening rather than speaking. True understanding arises only when thought finally becomes quiet. Even in human relationships, silence heals more deeply than explanation. Presence comforts more powerfully than argument. Shared stillness builds trust beyond language. Here, silence reveals its true nature. It is not emptiness, but fullness. Language must remain, yet it must be humbled. Words must learn to walk beside silence, not above it. When we respect its limits, we rediscover the depth of being. We begin to meet others not as labels or definitions, but as living mysteries. Only then can civilization rebuild itself not upon noise, but upon meaning.